Welcome to the SharkPreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Greene. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Greene is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
Do you want to become insanely successful? Do you want to be the go-to guru in your industry? Do you want to be talked about for all the right reasons? For over 40 years, Kevin Harrington has helped people just like you become significant influencers. Now he's broken the process down in the Key Person of Influence Roadmap, and it's yours for free. Just text KPI to him at 727-888-2100. Text KPI to 727-888-2100 right now and claim your free step-by-step guide. Text KPI to 727-888-2100 to get the recognition you deserve and experience the success as the go-to voice everyone listens to in your industry today.
Welcome to the SharkPreneur podcast. This is your co-host, Seth Greene. Today I've got the good fortune to be interviewing legendary copywriter, the fastest copywriter ever, Jack Turk. Jack, thank you so much for joining us.
Seth, it's so great to be here. Thank you very much for inviting me.
You are welcome. I am so excited because I've actually been a fan of yours for years. I've bought products you've produced. I've bought books you've edited. I know you didn't start out as a copywriter. And I believe, if I'm correct, your first quote-unquote copywriting job was working for my marketing mentor and, the biggest legend in the business, Dan Kennedy. How did you get started?
I go back quite a ways. I got into I've been a writer forever. I got into writing in college after shifting from paper science, which I'm kind of a dry, boring, dull, technical kind of guy. And I got into I like science. I got into science in college, but I found that was even drier, boring, and more technical than I was interested in. So I wound up answering an ad in the student paper about, can you be funny? And it was for like a radio comedy group for the student radio station. And I got into doing that. One of the guys in the group was Tim Allen, who I knew back in like 1976 and 76 through 79. And I'm still friends with Tim Allen. I actually appeared on television with Tim in 1977 on 1 o'clock in the morning on a Battle Creek TV show. So I go back with him a long time. But I got into writing back then, changed majors, got into English, and basically after I graduated college, I did technical writing for a lot of companies all across the U.S. Bounced around from Michigan to Texas, and bounced from there to back to Indiana, then to Boston, worked for a company that was part of Kodak, and then I got into Microsoft in 1989 and worked at did a bunch of writing there. So did a little bit of marketing writing, but mostly it was all technical writing. I did the first help file for Windows Media Player. I did the programmer documentation for Windows Video. I stood on stage with Bill Gates at the multimedia PC launch event in New York City. Worked on Age of Empires. I was a game designer for a while. Worked on Age of Empires.
Oh my God, I used to be obsessed with that game. I can't tell you how much of my life I devoted to all of the different versions of Age of Empires. That is awesome.
I wrote a ton of books. I wrote several of the books for Age of Empires, some of the manuals, and I was engaged with that product for years. I did Flight Simulator. I did instructional design for Flight Simulator 2000. I worked on was a game designer for a bunch of games that never shipped. And I left Microsoft on my 50th birthday, when my boss was hanging up my happy birthday sign in my office. I said, come in, I got to talk to you about something. So I quit on my 50th birthday to become a full-time magician.
Another thing we've got in common.
Oh, you're a magician also.
That's how I got into the Planet Dan Kennedy marketing world, is because I bought the ultimate marketing course for magicians that never fails from Dave D.
That was me too. That's how we have the exact same entry points as the Dan Kennedy.
I bought that. It worked. I said, would this work in my real business as a financial advisor? He said, yes. I said, where'd you learn it? He said, the 2 words that changed my life. He said, Dan Kennedy.
Oh gosh. So we definitely have similar backgrounds. Yeah, I got into all that stuff through Dave, and I wound up buying Dave's info products business to magicians.
I was going to say, I think Brad had also bought part of that because I bought recently the Success Magic course that I had always wanted when I was in my 20s but could never afford at the time. I finally got it because we actually did a trade and I did some Infusionsoft consulting for Brad in exchange for the course.
Yeah, I sold the business to Brad after I bought it from Dave. I ran it for I don't know. So I ran 8 years. I ran it for about 8 years. Then I sold it to Brad because I just wanted to get into something different. I got into and basically I kept doing stuff for, I did magic shows. I was doing 200-300 magic shows. That's how I got into, doing, he said I'll do copy. I just started writing copy for myself, marketing myself, just kind of like you, I'm sure. And I got, pretty decent at it. I sent all this money to Dave. And eventually, Dave started hiring me out to do little projects for him. And I wound up doing a lot of stuff with Dave. I worked with Dave, a lot of different things, psychic sales, all kinds of stuff for years. And when Dave went to GCIC at the time, as head of marketing, he brought me along, and that's how I became the head copywriter for GCIC, which I did from 2012 to 2015. And that's kind of how I got into copy. I was doing a lot of copy for a lot of other people too, but I wound up doing tons for GCIC. Obviously, that's the copy factory. You got to grind out stuff all the time. So I got pretty good at that and pretty fast. We had a couple other copywriters working in the team, and it was a lot of fun. In 2015, I said, hey, I want to do this on my own. So I left in 2015, and since then I have a few clients. I still work with GKIC and now No BS. I still do a lot of stuff with them. As I mentioned, I was the editor on their most recent book, Renegade Millionaire, with Dan and Lee. I basically took the content and rebuilt the book basically on all their amazing content that they had for years and years. And I edited the book and helped them on that project. I do a lot of other projects for them too, still, which is a lot of fun. As well as I have other clients, some in the dental industry. One guy's in the dental industry. I've done some work with lawyers and attorneys. I've done some financial. Actually, I just wrapped up a project with a financial advisor, and I've kind of bounced around a lot of different industries. But it's a lot of fun. I just love writing copy.
All right, so absolutely incredible background. If it hasn't filled a book, you should have your own. Now let's talk about marketing. Let's talk about growing a business, because you've done that for many different businesses, including your own. So what are some of the biggest mistakes you see business owners making when it comes to copywriting and trying to get their message out and trying to grow their business?
I think one of the biggest mistakes is obviously really not understanding their audience and not getting that clear in their heads. I think one of the advantages I had, I learned this, just doing marketing as a magician. I was very clear as to who my preferred customer was up here in the greater Seattle area for I do as a family entertainer. I did daily birthday parties. I did hundreds, thousands of birthday parties. And I was probably, I don't know if I was the most successful, but I had to be in the top 5% easily, 1 to 5% in terms of booking birthday parties. And I was able to do that because I really understood my customer, who in my mind was a professional businesswoman, probably 30s, early 30s, that range. Worked as a professional, had a very busy life, hard, just very driven, high focus, high energy, and so, loved her kids, but, really wanted to do something special. So I wrote a letter to that person. I understood her worries about, gosh, you're going to bring somebody in your home, so you got to address that in your sales piece. You got to address that real fear. You're bringing a stranger in your house. So I think that is the biggest mistake I think a lot of businesses do. They really just don't go deep in understanding not only superficially the customer, but like what's really holding them back from hiring you. What are the things that will keep them from hiring you? What are their worries about you? And make sure you address those.
I think that makes a lot of sense. what are some of the biggest mistakes? I mean, you talk about understanding your target market, which is obviously, Dan has taught us is 50% of the success or failure of your marketing. What about the mistakes? Like, you get direct response marketing in the mail, you get it on your Facebook newsfeed, you get it everywhere. What are some of the biggest mistakes you see them making other than not understanding their target market?
One is they fail to actually ask for the sale. I mean, a lot of people still, it's not clear what I'm supposed to do. That's a big, I think that is I don't know why that is. They invest all this money on an ad and they don't really make it clear what you're supposed to do with it. I see that a lot. There's no real clear call to action. Another thing I've seen, and I think this is one I've struggled with clients over the years, is I think they hold back a little bit about making the very best offer they can. I think that is a huge mistake that happens over and over again. We have this notion, I'm going to sell this widget for, let's say, $500, and I know it's worth $500, and I'm going to sell it for $500. Come hell or high water, it's going to be $500. And in reality, maybe that's not the best offer you could have made. It's not that appealing. Maybe given the context of what's going on in the universe, that's just not the best offer, not the right offer at this point in time. And because I have a basic philosophy, I think to create a really great offer, it should actually hurt you a little bit. You should kind of wince, I think, to make sure you got something that's really appealing. I think it should make you almost feel like I'm kind of giving away the farm a little bit here. That, to me, those are two of the mistakes I see a lot. I don't think people are stepping up in that case.
I love that. That's a great way to put that. Your offer should be so good that it makes you hurt a little bit to promote it. Obviously, that's one way. I mean, you're certainly going to make it irresistible at that point. Since you brought up offers, how do you create your offers? Because you've worked on some amazing high converting products that have sold millions of dollars. What is your process like in terms of creating an offer?
I think first off, you put together everything. You first got to understand what the hole in the life of the customer is that you can solve, and you really want to configure it around that. I tried, and you're just doing birthday parties, I tried to make sure that I provided an experience, made the child a star in front of all his friends or her friends, and also made mom look great in front of all her friends. So those were kind of the big holes they wanted filled. And I thought, so that's the big thing. You got to make sure people aren't, again, it's the old saying, people don't buy a drill because they want a drill. They don't want the drill bit. They want like a 1/4-inch hole.
Yeah.
So they don't care about the drill bit. They care about the 1/4-inch hole. That's what they want. So you got to really understand that 1/4-inch hole in somebody's life, a customer's life. And so then when you have that in mind, then you go, okay, what's the best way to fill that hole, to create that hole? What's the best way to make sure that hole exists and is taken care of? And you look at all the things you can package. And there's a real art to doing offers, and it kind of, and Dan talks about this too. Sometimes you'll create all the different pieces, like particularly in info products, where you're actually doing some training to people and helping them build up a skill set or create an expertise or enable to solve a problem, like how to write copy faster or something like that. You want to look through all the things, all the pieces mechanically you can put together for them, and then bonuses. Dan talks about things you can bonus in that are not necessarily filling that specific hole, but fill like related holes and really augment it and just scratch an itch that they may have also. He's actually talked about people, what was it? The example of Sports Illustrated. People would buy Sports Illustrated magazine, for the coffee cup or the or whatever.
Phone. The football phone.
Yeah, the football phone. That was the example Dan gave. Yeah, he talked about that. He signed up for some, I think, direct marketing associated, whatever, because it had like the world's greatest marketer coffee cup or something.
Yes, the model.
Yes. Really he didn't really care about the magazine, but he wanted that stupid mug. And so that's how it's, the bonus actually is more of a driver of the offer than the actual product itself. And that's kind of the art, the magic of offers. You kind of think but again, it boils down to really understanding your customer and really understanding, the holes in their life, the challenges, the fears and the pain and the dreams and the hopes that they have, how you plug those, how you fill those and mesh with those. That's kind of the art and craft of it.
Now, you've worked on many, many multi-million-dollar promotions. What's the favorite marketing campaign you've ever written?
Honestly, I think it's like for one of my clients who's in the dental space, and he's just a wonderful. He's wonderful people. He's just wonderful people, and he's great at what he does in supporting them. And we should actually, I think it's one we just did. It's a campaign for a 5-video instructional series to help dentists, survive this very difficult time. This is an extremely challenging time for dentists. And we, together with his team, we put together a marketing campaign and a structure of 5 training videos. And it included, direct mail. It included a email campaign. It included like an assessment, which was specifically engineered to help lead people through the process of understanding what they really wanted in their practice and how they wanted to move their practice forward. And that had led to like a follow-up to drive to a consultation. And that it's kind of that's an under-the-radar kind of campaign that I just worked on, but it had so many different pieces. I put together outlines for all the videos and helped sequence those, and the landing page for the videos. We've had a huge success with the landing page, like over 60% people opting in for this. Very happy with the opt-in rates.
I was going to say, anybody would be happy with 60%. That's incredible.
Yeah, it's just done great. So and there's and what I love about working with this client, he's just such a decent, quality person that more people get to know about it, who could use his help. I think that's the best thing about it. So I like that. It's very rewarding. Not just financially for like what I make off of doing it for them, but it's rewarding because I know I'm actually promoting something and helping getting messaging out that will really help people's lives, can turn practices around, can really help impact a lot of people in a positive way. And that's, to me, that's one of the things I love about working with No BS and GKIT is that I have such a passion and heart for small business, and anything we can do to help small businesses, I can't go far enough on that because I think they're the backbone of the country. They change people's lives in so many positive ways. They create jobs. It's just a wonderful market to help small businesses, and I just really appreciate that.
Absolutely. Now, you've worked with folks that we've mentioned, some of the household names and legends in our industry. What is the best advice you've ever received?
I think I'll go. One of the best advice. This is the best advice that I think I've gotten from Dan, and it is the importance of having every business owner should have a book. You got to have a book, and so I've actually written 2 books on copywriting, and they have been so valuable to me in my business, in that it has. I'll share very openly. I am not the greatest marketer of myself. I don't have the fanciest website. I don't have detailed funnels. I don't have any of that stuff. I do have a couple books, and they have been extremely effective in getting my level of authority and my perceived value up astronomically based on just having those compared to not having those. So I think that was the best advice I ever. And Dan actually mentioned my book, my first book, to his tribe at some point in some side newsletter, it was a newsletter I didn't even know he had going out there, and somebody mentioned it to me and showed it. And he was very complimentary and very, very gracious. It was wonderful. It made me feel great. That to me, having a book gives you a level of authority, prestige that few other things can do for you.
Absolutely. We greatly appreciate your time. We know it's incredibly valuable. Thank you for spending some of it with us. For our audience, for our listeners and viewers who want to learn more about Jack Turk and what you do and what you can do for them, where is the best place for them to go?
Well, I do have a website. It is www.writekillercopyfast.com. writekillercopyfast.com, and I have some examples of it, like my daily email I send out. There's also a 3-step headline kit that you can get there that'll help you write headlines, killer headlines really fast, and that's a nice little tool that I'm giving away in exchange, of course, for your email address. So that's there. And if you want to just write me an email, it's jack@writekillercopyfast.com.
Awesome. Jack Turk, writekillercopyfast.com. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much. I really enjoyed it.
Thanks, everybody, for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.
Do you need money to fund your idea, product, or service? Are you ready to take your business to the next level but need capital to get it done? Kevin Harrington has heard more than 50,000 pitches and knows how to help you make the perfect pitch to get the funding for your entrepreneurial dream. He's distilled the process down in his perfect pitch cheat sheet, and it's yours for free. Just text PITCH to him right now at 727-888-2100. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 right now and claim your free perfect pitch cheat sheet. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 to start funding your dream today.
This show has been produced by Market Domination, LLC. To discover how you can have your own show completely done for you and turn it into a real published book and become the authority in your marketplace, go to www.marketdominationllc.com/podcast offer.